do it every day. Watch the race.
No, we drove. I live in Oak Village, so I go back and forth. Beside Nashville.
Dave, right. Okay, I've gone through the TVs. The TVs are all here. So y'all gonna run a short clip of this in the newspaper? No, I meant, have video in the newspaper. Probably, that's what I was gonna say, probably possible now. I look every now and then online, but most of the time I just do it in print. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what my wife says. I can hold this, I can stare at it as long as I want. You know, so, thanks for being here.
Me too. I wish I got a cabin now.
I've been a member of the state legislature for 4 years, for 2 terms. It's a 99-member body. It turns over completely 100% every 2 years, so everyone's up for re-election this fall. And I'm campaigning to be re-elected again. But before this 8 years, I was a 10-year member of Knox County Commission. Richie B was a current member from out here, Knox County Commission. Local government gets a lot more attention from local press. Of course, there's been a tremendous change in the presence of New Central. How long? No. It's going to take the treasurer, state of Tennessee treasurer, he's got 4 or 5 people here with him. He is the one that has prepared all this side of the state. The resolution on the far side is a joint between Senator Massey and Jake over there. She had the resolution passed in the Senate, and I had the resolution carried in the House. Standalone legislative act, and I guess the lieutenant governor, Natalie will speak, then Becky and I, and Michelle Carrington, who's State Representative Scott Halls, will say a word or two. It's short. It's a presentation of the school on behalf of the state of Tennessee and the memory of Staff Sergeant Knauss. It's to be, I don't know where they're, in fact, I haven't even asked Principal Webster where it may, go to the ROTC has a room over the. We're in the hallway. So how long have you been covering stuff, political stuff? This is, yeah, but I mean, political. I was the chair for 2 years before the last, I think 2 years I was over on, well, no, Rich was the chair of the committee. Charlie Buster, I would have been sitting beside Charlie Buster whenever I was seated on the side. And early on. Make sure it's very nice.
Good morning. I am David Lillard, Tennessee State Treasurer, and I welcome each of you to this solemn occasion, but a very important occasion. And have you here today as our friends and neighbors. We are grateful to be joined by our Lieutenant Governor, McNally, here today, Senator Becky Massey, Representative David Wright, Representative Michelle Carringer is here. We're honored to have the family of Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss here too, as well, to be with us as well today in this occasion. And also want to recognize Principal Jason Webster and the staff of Gibbs High School and thank them for all of their help here with this presentation today. And wanted to also recognize Colonel Robert Reed, the military science instructor here at the high school, and the Gibbs ROTC battalion. Their representatives are here with us today, and we very much appreciate their presence. We also have a Representative Mayor Glenn Jacobs' office here with us today, and we have Lieutenant Colonel Shooter from the Tennessee Department of Military here with us today, as well as various other representatives and others from various departments and all that. We have representatives of the Department of Military, Department of Veterans Affairs, and others. I appreciate each of you being here today as we honor the sacrifice of U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss, who died while serving his country on August 26, 2021. Staff Sergeant Knauss was the last Tennessean to die in Afghanistan. Since the beginning of statehood, the Tennessee Department of Treasury has had a strong connection to our military, and members of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System can credit military service during an armed conflict toward their retirement benefit. Additionally, our unclaimed property program safeguards military medals that are abandoned and works to return those medals to the families of veterans. A very important mission of our department among all the other things that we do. Like you, I was shocked to hear the news last year of a suicide bombing near Kabul at Hamid Karzai International Airport, where thousands of civilians were trying to evacuate Afghanistan. I was devastated to learn American soldiers had been killed in that action, and that one of them, Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss, was a Tennessean. I followed the stories over the next week, learning more about his life, that he graduated right here in Corrigan community at Gibbs High School, and that he loved his country and enlisted into the Army after graduation. He embodies the spirit of a true Tennessee volunteer, and we are here today to recognize that. The staff of the Tennessee Department of Treasury were deeply affected by the death of Staff Sergeant Knauss and felt compelled to honor him in every way that we could. Our effort is part of this presentation, which is this portrait, which is here today, memorializes for all current and future students of Gibbs High School and the people of Corryton the life, service, and honor of the ultimate sacrifice made by Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss. Next to the portrait is language that will be included on a plaque to be added to the frame as it hangs in this school. I want to point out that the words "freedom is never free" are among those mentioned. It is crucial that Tennesseans continue to understand that the price of freedom and recognize the many contributions and sacrifices that Tennesseans have made for nearly 250 years to protect that freedom. Again, I want to thank each of you for being here today, and I want to recognize next our Lieutenant Governor, Randy McNally, for remarks.
Thank you. It's a great honor for me to be here and for our fellow senators and representatives also to be here with the family. As I was coming over, I was listening to one of the songs that I feel that embodies a lot of what Ryan stood for and what a lot of our fallen soldiers stand for. And it was Mansions of the Lord. And it tells a story about how and when a broken soldier is taken from the battlefield, that he is brought to the mansions of the Lord, and there he embraces the divine love and eternal light of God. And it's just a great honor for us to be here. And while these words on the resolution are simply words on a piece of parchment, they represent the feelings and thoughts of all Tennesseans. And if you notice, all the members of the Senate and House had signed on to it, which is very unusual. And to the family, I'm reminded of the words in Matthew that blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And also the words that blessed are those that are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And that's where Ryan is, and we want to thank him for his sacrifice and the effort he made to take women and children and take them to safety. And he was truly a peacemaker and truly a child of God. And it's a great pleasure for me an honor for me to get to introduce Becky Massey and Senator Becky Massey, who chairs our Transportation Committee, and Dave Wright, Representative Dave Wright, and Representative Michelle Carringer. And they're gonna have a few words and read parts of the resolution. But thank you, and thanks to the family. We honor you, and we deeply appreciate the sacrifice that you made and the sacrifice that Ryan made. Thank you. Becky.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here with each of you today. This is, it's a solemn occasion, but it's an important occasion because we want the family to know, we want the community to know, we want the world to know we will never, ever forget your sacrifice, Ryan's sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice. We have the grandparents here and his dad and his mom here and other families. So it's just important that we don't forget. And this resolution and this portrait will hang here at Gibbs High School where he walked the halls. And, I'm thrilled that we got the road that's named. I saw the sign as I drove in today, and it's just, it's important. I am going to diverge just a teeny bit. We do have U.S. Senator Haggerty's, somebody from his office here, Riley Lemongood, and we've got County Commissioner Richie Beeler here too. So we've got all levels. Oh yeah, just school board member McMillan just walked in also. So we got everybody covered. So besides all the kind folks that came over from Nashville just for this occasion too. So with that, like I say, you know, the sacrifice that Ryan made, I actually, a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, I was in Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma, and I was on the plane, the radar plane that actually hovered over Afghanistan. And as all the Afghani Air Force traffic controllers left to save their lives to get out of there, our Air Force ran their radar to keep all the planes that were coming in and going out so they wouldn't hit each other, so they could get people out to safety. And nobody really knew that story, but it was interesting seeing and hearing how they played that part in the evacuation to help folks get out. So it really was an interesting being a part of that, and then knowing the family and knowing the part that our Tennesseans played in that too. So I'm going to we'll let, she didn't know she was going to speak, so, but she's never lost for words. So
I just want to say how I get chill bumps. I have right now from my head to my toes when I think about the sacrifice that Ryan Knauss gave for our country and for us. And this was a young gentleman that was raised right here and walked the halls, as Senator Massey just said. He didn't have to do it. He volunteered to do it because he was called to this service to protect us and to protect our great country that men and women have gone before us to give us this freedom, to be able to worship, to be able to come to school here and all over. And my heart just breaks for his family. But as Senator Massey said, all the things that we have done, I cannot wait to see the bridge that goes across over to the middle school in honor of Ryan. And we promise that the generations from us and on down, that Ryan will never be forgotten. He will always be a hero. And I thank God for his life, for his parents, his grandparents, for raising him and teaching him the value of life and how important it is. So my prayers, my heart just goes out to all of you all. But thank you. Thank you for sharing Ryan and for encouraging him to go into service. And thank you to these young men and women that I see here. I'm like, this is our future. This is our future, and who's going to keep America safe for us. So thank you so much. And I'm honored that I could just be a very small part of this.
Again, it's the words of saying thank you for being here today for the state of Tennessee, Treasurer Lillard, making the presentation happen, for you being here to take a moment to remember. But I want to build on the words of my fellow legislator. This room is full of family, whether it be from Papa to the members of the ROTC or anyone that's in between. We've spoken at length about the sacrifice that was made. But that sacrifice that has been made cannot go for lost, because we need to know today we have to stand up and go make America better. We have to stand up today and go make the Gibbs community better, because we don't know what we might be into tomorrow. So let that be my word of advice. You gotta go, we're seated now, but we gotta go do something after a while. Again, thanks David Lillard for making the things available. Is there anything else we're supposed to do?
I think, Principal Webster, why don't you come up here, because
Yeah.
we're presenting this to the school. So on behalf of the school, if you will, on behalf of the school, if you'll come up and if you've got,
And Mike McMillan, the member of the,
and Mike McNally on part of the school board, if you'll come forward and accept this small token from the state of Tennessee as a remembrance for you to hang forever here in your school. So you'd like to say something real quick? Thank you.
Well, what can be said that hasn't already been said? I remember getting a call from Colonel Schaefer, his ROTC instructor that day, and I'd heard it, but it was one of those things I didn't believe until Colonel called me. We shared a moment, we shared some memories, and just can't imagine. It has been an honor for Gibbs High School to be a part of this with your family. We hope that we've done that with dignity and respect to him. That's the least we could do in the last year. But we are honored to have this portrait, and I told some folks we're going to put it out visible out here in the hallways where folks can see it, our kids can see it. It's important. But it's also important for our community to be able to come, whether it's, to an event, to an open house, to whatever, to be able to see this, because you shared, Ryan, with the community, but to the world, with the world. And so we are honored that he's a Gibbs Eagle. He will always be a Gibbs Eagle. So thank you to all of those who made this happen today. We are truly, truly honored to have Gibbs High School attached to the Knauss.
Treasurer.
I'm fine. Under any closing remarks?
Oh, no.
Anything? We're good? Do we want to read the resolution? Do y'all want the resolution? Would you like us to read the resolution?
Yeah.
Dave, go for it.
past. Our nation was conceived by individuals who were willing to sacrifice their personal safety and concerns to ensure our individual and collective freedom. And the volunteer state has been the home of many valiant men and women who performed above and beyond the call of duty. And whereas thousands of Tennesseans continue this time-honored tradition of volunteerism through service in the armed forces, including the United States Army. Sadly, many of those honored defenders of our nation and its liberties have fallen throughout our country's history. And whereas Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss of Corrington was one of those 13 American Armed Force members who were killed in the bombing attack at the Kabul Airport in Afghanistan on August 26, 2021. And whereas a 2016 graduate of Gibbs High School, Sergeant Knauss was a top student in the school's junior ROTC program and enlisted in the United States Army shortly after his graduation, fulfilling a lifelong dream of entering military service. He had hoped to one day serve in Washington, D.C. And whereas based in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, he was a member of the 9th Battalion, the 8th Psychological Operations Group. In 2017 and 2018, he completed a 9-month tour in Afghanistan as a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division. And whereas Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss was called the embodiment, this is a quote, the embodiment of an Army Special Operations Forces soldier, end quote, by Colonel Jeremy Mustower of the 8th Psychological Operations Group. And whereas the last American service member to die in the 20-year war in Afghanistan, Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss is survived by his wife, Elena Knauss, mother, Paula Knauss, father, Greg Knauss, brother, Tyler Knauss, and numerous extended family members. And whereas Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss served with great courage and gallantry, giving his life in service to the country, and for that ultimate sacrifice, he deserves proper recognition for herein both the United States and in society today. And whereas Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss' dedication to excellence in the military and his love of his family, his fellow soldiers, and his country stand as enduring examples of all the characteristics that have ensured the continued freedom of our nation and the preservation of its ideals over the course of our history. And whereas this General Assembly, State of Tennessee, joins with Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss' family and friends in mourning the untimely death of this courageous young Tennessean, now therefore be it acknowledged by the state of the 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the House of Representatives concurring, that we honor the memory of Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Knauss of the United States Army, reflecting upon his impeccable character and stalwart commitment to living the examined life with courage and conviction. We extend our profound condolences to his family for the loss of this valiant American hero. October 29th, 2021. Thank you, family and friends.
Thank you very much. This concludes our presentation today. We want to thank each of you for being here. Thank you.